Hi everyone, and welcome to SAMA, a program which invites experts to discuss a topic from their area of expertise. This week we are delighted to have Renzo Celani to talk to us about light kinesiology therapy. Renzo is an internationally acclaimed natural healer and medical intuitive, and has been treating patients of all ages from all walks of life around the world for many years. Renzo has developed the Biophoton Realignment mirror technique, which is a combination of kinesiology testing and aura field treatment using specially designed mirrors made from pure gold, pure silver, and 2 different aluminium mirrors, including a filter that only allows polarized light to pass through. This form of treatment is completely safe, natural, comfortable, painless, and totally non-invasive. In fact, one video I was watching on YouTube, the patient seemed to be falling asleep. So welcome to our show, Renzo. It's fantastic to have you with us.
Thank you for inviting me, John.
Okay, well, to kick this off, I'd like to ask the question, what is kinesiology?
Kinesiology actually is a body feedback system. So you get a certain muscle group, yeah, and the muscle, when it's been activated, yeah, like you hold your arm and I push it down, yeah, I get a feedback if your autonomous nervous system can respond to my questions.
Yes. Okay. And what is light kinesiology?
Light kinesiology is a mixture of different information from different schools, we can say, what we have learned in the past. Okay. So we take different techniques together and it's a sequence. So the step by step what we're doing, the first step, the second step, that makes the light kinesiology special.
Right. Now, I was looking at your video of a person having treatment using a light kinesiology. He had a stack of something at his feet and some kind of looked like a telephoto lens from a camera at his head. Now, can you explain to us, please, the mechanics behind it, first of all?
That's a good question. Actually, I took one of these plates out. This is a little plate. It's a special acrylic glass. This acrylic glass, like you must know, there is more than 500 different kinds of acrylic glass in the industry, in the world used by industry.
Yes.
But this special acrylic glass allows us to communicate one plate with the other, but without absorbing too much information. Everything what we are trying to build new, or when we are searching for new ways, we're trying to get the highest quality of what is possible for us to reach. You know, if you need something better, maybe we must call the NASA and ask them if they can build us something. But this is one of these plates, and when you give light into the plate, you can see it will bounce back from the top to the bottom, from the top to the bottom. It's like a pool billiard table, and it goes around inside. By this effect, you have double light breaking effects. Yeah. So you're splitting light. You have an effect which is called the Compton effect. The Compton effect is one of the most important effects, I think, in treating people with light, because take an example. When you take radiation from the sunlight and it comes to your skin, there is a certain filter system in the atmosphere. 200 nanometers are not being let through, so it does never reach normally your body. Otherwise, we would burn. Everybody of us would burn and get cancer, skin cancer with UVC radiation. But when this radiation is arriving to your body, it is not that the cell receives exactly that particular frequency, yeah, like 500 nanometers, 300 nanometers, but on your skin it will split. It will split in different frequencies, wavelengths of light. Everything is light and everything is electromagnetic waves. So electricity is involved as well as light, you know.
Now, acrylic generally attenuates wavelengths below about 260 nanometers.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question.
Normally, acrylic attenuates or blocks wavelengths shorter than 260 nanometers. In fact, it's a very high-grade acrylic that can pass 260.
Yes, there is so many different acrylics. Actually, there is even acrylics they block over 300. Yeah. Like if you take this, what you have asked before, that when you have seen the plate, a big plate, which we call a full body plate. So we have a bench and we put that big plate on it. Yes. Then if we lie only on the bench and we only put our fingers on that plate, yes, with our body lying on that, our meridian system will communicate over that touching. Yeah, the light that emits the body is actually going into the plate and get transferred in the information. The information, actually, the same information stays, but it can change language. And by changing that language, we are able to use that things like in treating autistic children, or we can put neurological sick people, yeah, so people seeking for help, which are coming to us. We can put them just on the plates, and just by touching with your hands and lying on the plate, there's a lot of things are happening. You're relaxing, the body gets charged actually by electricity. And as you know from the fourth phase of water from Jerry Pollack, you need a certain cell membrane tension. Otherwise, it will not function with a body, with a cell inside, the cell outside, all these transport systems. And when you ask, like, there was a pile of these little plates.
Yes.
When you have this pile on the feet, it shows you an octave system. So imagine you have around you in your field, we say. There are some people that can see these things, or you have a field, and you call it an aura. Yeah, this aura is as big as your lifetime actually is in velocity of light. This is pure physics. In the first moment that after conception, yeah, in the first moment that there is a little problem, the mother is coughing or something, whatever, an atom can be unstable, like the Earth is getting unstable, and the moon as a counterweight must come a little bit closer to stabilize it. So that is actually been done by the electrons, which are surrounding the core of the atom. And when you are feeding this system with light, then you are charging by we can say by the photo effect, or with the Compton effect, you're charging that little particles. This little electron is actually jumping from one orbit to another orbiter. And in that moment, when it jumps to an outer orbit, one which is more far from the core, then you become younger. And you have another potential for a regulation jump.
So it jumps to a different valency. It goes to the valent.
You will fall on the floor. Then you have no chance to regulate on me, yeah? Because I give an input and you must regulate on it. So if your body gets hurt, you are cutting yourself and it must heal. This is actually a regulation system. And we are able to give power to the regulation system, yeah, in the way that we are charging our bodies, and we are giving it the chance to have more reserve. Yeah, you get a bigger tank for your truck. Yeah, you get a bigger tank with more fuel, and that makes it much easier for the body to regulate. And this plate, you must see as a distance in your field. You can reach certain distances, because when someone says, "Oh, your aura is 1 meter large," yeah, 3 feet. Yeah? This is not your aura. This is a certain field of density of energy. Our aura is actually as big. Like I am today 48 years old. So I was 10 months with my mom, yeah, in her tummy. So we call it 1 year. So it's 49 years. So actually my aura is 98 light years in diameter. So this is my information field. And in that moment, when we are reaching this 1, 2, 3, 4 plates, we are making an octave system like 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. This is important when you are holding a mirror. I took some mirrors here with me just to show you one. When you're holding a mirror on a patient and you have detected the stomach area is making stress. So in that moment that you test a mirror, which is like this one is gold flat now. So if this mirror will test and we hold it on that stomach area and we pull it slowly away from the stomach area, and we would reach 1 meter distance, then our arm is finished. You know, we can't get higher. Yeah. So in the moment that we are taking 2 plates on the feet area, then we are doubling that signal of the same position of the mirror. It means I go 1 meter far and I have 2 plates, so I get the input of 2 meters in the aura. If I put another plate, I have 1, 2, 4. So with 1 meter distance, I am absorbing 3 meters from the field, and 1 I have under my mirror. So we can reach problems that has been formed or been developed years ago in your lifetime. So we are going even in the lifespan back to your origin problem.
That's interesting. Now, the first plate was very close to the person in the video. The second one will be effectively twice the distance, but we're nowhere near light years away, which you'd have to be to have the information of that person's aura at that great distance. It's a very short distance away. So I'm wondering how that works.
See, I hope I understood your question. When you have a signal that comes in, that signal can come from everywhere. Yeah, we are connected to everything, because we are actually, when 2 electrons are meeting, people say even biophotons. Yeah, and the word for them is bio is life, and photon is a light particle, a little one. Actually, a light particle gets born in the moment that there is a regulation jump. So an electron is jumping closer to the core. That one, what we are picking up, is traveling with light velocity. The light velocity is not a constant thing. Albert Einstein put it in his formulas, but it's not 100% right to do that. Light is not all times nearly 300,000 kilometers quick. In a foggy day, when you have a foggy day in New Zealand, and then the light is traveling through, yeah, it's maybe 212,000 kilometers per second. So it's not a constant. When you go in the aura and you are searching for a problem, like I would say, when I was 12, I did have an accident with a bicycle. Yeah, so that accident can still be there as an information, and when you are searching for it, it can make stress. We are treating everything what makes stress, and we're treating it in the moment that we are detecting it. Yeah, when we find something, then we are directly treating it. That makes the light kinesiology so nice and so quick and so good for the patients. When a person seeking for help is coming, they have seen so many doctors or therapists before they try a healer or before they try something new that hasn't been there 10 or 15 years ago. Because light kinesiology is now been born in 2017, and the mirrors are born in 2014. So that actually, for some people, it's a new system. But those people who are working with it from the first moment, they love it, because they don't inject anymore so much. They don't give all these remedies to the people after treatment. Most important thing is to give binders, yeah? Because when you're releasing a stress from a certain place, which could be a scar, which could be a broken bone before, or something that healed out, there is a lot of toxins released in your body. It gives the energy free, yeah? And we observed totally different amounts, amazing amounts of mobilization in a person that when we did apheresis treatment. Apheresis is a special blood washing treatment. The origin comes from the double membrane filtration apheresis, and that one comes from the plasma apheresis. But now we have a different system that people in Germany, Dr. Straube, is using. And we are allowed to do tests with him and to treat people with them. So in lifetime, we can really see the mobilization of the dirt in the patient's plasma, and getting filtered and pumped off the body. So you can clean your plasma with a normal filter system, or you can do a modification with a mirrors, and then you're actually activating the detoxing of heavy metals. Yeah, that's what we saw in a lot of people. There were never heavy metals in the patients, and they saw them often. And suddenly, when they did use the mirrors on them, they mobilizing a lot of metals. And the information of the field, when you're going into the light years, you can say it's even a year of your age. Yeah, 1 year for our age is 1 light year in information, because our light has traveled that year. So the information is much far away.
So if you're using that stack to go back in time, if you like, but the information has got to return to your body, and it's doing it through the same stack. So then it ages fast again, doesn't it? It end up the same.
Well, that's right. Energy is traveling in both directions. Take that as an example. If I use a laser and I point it on you, on your chest, and that's what I can pick up from you as information, you will receive from me as an information in the same moment. So Einstein, when he said one day he was sitting in a tram, and he was departing with a tram, and then it got faster, and so he turned around and he saw that clock on a church. There was a big clock, and he thought, if I reach the velocity of light, in that moment the information of the clock doesn't reach me anymore. So then time stays still. But that's wrong. You need double velocity of light to have that moment that he was thinking about, because the information would go in both directions. You understand that?
Not really, because it's the propagation speed.
Yeah. If you are departing from somewhere, and you go with a velocity and you reach the velocity of light, then the light can't reach you anymore. That's a thought. But our light is traveling in the other direction, and it's meeting those light particles. And light particles, when they meet, they exchange all the information in the same time as they meet. So they're actually exchanging all the information that they ever met in double velocity of light, in 600,000 kilometers per second, if you would say it in a vacuum, you know?
Okay. Now,
it's pure physics.
Okay. Now, what physicists tell us is light travels slower in some instances because it's got the medium to pass through. So it's got to, the light itself is the same speed, but it's got to circumnavigate and get exchanged through different molecules. So so would you say it's fair to say that light is a constant speed?
There is no constant speed with light, because in the moment that you would take a laser, like they do in Hamburg, in Germany, they have an underground basic there where they are doing tests with lasers and these things. These lasers, what they're using, they are shooting a strong laser, and they have magnets, and they're placing magnets in different places. And they can observe that the light is all times following the field of the magnet, yeah? So it turns to the magnet, towards, and then in the next moment it turns to the next one. All times when light particles are making a curve, they emit radiation, which is X-rays, so it's even light. So and they are actually losing in the stream, they're losing the power. There's less power after than in the beginning of the experiment, because there is particles going off. This happens in our bodies. When we have a disturb in our body, we are emitting a lot of light. So some people you meet, you say, oh, they have a fantastic aura, a nice looking aura, and it's shining, you know. But actually in the physics, it means you are sick. More light you emit, you're sick. You must see the opposite. If you have no regulation to do in your body, or little regulation, you are emitting little light particles because of the electrons.
That's funny. Okay, now a couple of questions have come through from Carmela Walker. Her question is this: if a person is more in tune with the present moment and they're using more of their pineal gland, does that mean that their aura is more extended than their years on the planet?
I got half because of the tone, because of the transmission. I got half of the question.
Sorry, the other half I missed because of my accent. If a person is more in tune with the present moment, and if they're using more of their pineal gland, does that mean that their
pineal gland?
Their pineal,
the pineal gland?
Yeah, yes. Does that mean that their aura is more extended than their 3 years on the planet?
I don't know if I get that question with my English and your accents.
Well, I'll try and put it into different words. Yeah. Person Well, I'll ask the question this way: is it always constant, the size of the aura to the chronological time?
No, it's not constant, because if you are saying the medium where the light is traveling through, like atmosphere and like a sunny day or a rainy day, yeah, it changed everything already. It's like the same is happening with the cell phones when you are having a rainy day or you have a sunny day. Actually, the transmitters are working much better. With the rain, it could block a lot of information. And so it's not all times the same speed that you are enlarging your information field.
Okay. So some people have larger auras.
Some people have larger auras with a different velocity if they live in a different place. So that is environmental dependent.
I understand. Okay. And another question. Are we traveling in and out of our own dimensions? That's the question.
Yeah, what is the thought about the dimensions? Yeah, if you see, from one side there is only one dimension. Yeah, like people say, oh, with what kind of energies are you working? There is no energies. There is only energy, because the word energy describes only the ability to make things happen, that the work can be done. Yeah. So if you say, oh, I have a green light or I have a blue light, it's all times light. It's all times electromagnetic wavelengths and things. But if they are trying to separate these things, and you like the soup that you are eating, you're trying to separate the things. You don't know what is the point where the carrot is or where the other one is. You know, dimensions. I don't think that we have different dimensions in that way. There is different layers, maybe, in that dimension. In a whole bubble, we have different orbits, we can say, spaces, or the distance to the core, yeah?
Okay. And obviously auras will be overlapping if they're as large as light years in size. It'll be just the soup that you're referring to, I guess.
Yeah, that explains what, when people say everything is connected to everything. And actually, by physics, it's true. If you have these little light particles or electrons, or a part of an electron in the tension, you know, then when it meets some other electric charge particles, it will exchange the information. In that moment, you are connected because you are in both directions connected with the information field. So if my light particle meets one of yours, there is a lot of information that automatically comes to me, yeah, and a lot of information that automatically comes to you. Somehow you can explain it in America, in China, and in Australia. There's 3 researchers. They find in nearly the same time all the same results, or something new that they're inventing, because one is thinking about it and sending it all over, and the information is there, and someone must only have the antennas to pick it up. Yeah,
that's an interesting thought. Now, your stack of acrylic sheets at the feet of the patient, they are 90 degrees to the patient at the feet. Is there any reason behind that? Why they're not facing the person?
When you have the acrylic, we have these big plates that actually, when we are home, like in our praxis where we're working, we don't treat actually patients without the big acrylic plate, because it makes us much easier the work, and the velocity is much quicker. When we place the little ones under the feet, then we place them one to the other one, and if we turn them a little bit, yeah, that the patient is lying straight, and we put this one straight, but if we would turn it a little bit, and the next one we would turn it, and the next one, so it would make like a spiral, like a DNA spiral or something. By imagination, it will change the signal. And the patient, when he's lying there, most of them can feel it, that something is wrong with the pile. The pile on the feet gives us the wave, the distance in the field. The information can be attracted towards you, so you can work with it. But the pile that you have seen on the head of the patient, that is the signal which is coming in. Yeah, it's a different thing. The signal that comes in gives you just like, here I am, I want to be seen. Topic is psychologically, emotional topics, teeth problems. Then to find that one, you need the pile on the feet to go to the right knot. Yeah, in the information field, there is a lot of crossings, like you know, when someone is knitting, yeah, and you're knitting, and the information comes. The script comes towards you. But now the little boy comes and kicks it, and the grandmother gets angry because he makes a knot. So that knot is what we actually are searching by the mirror, by mirroring, and then by piling up on the feet.
That analogy needs a bit of thinking. The mirrors. We haven't really talked much about the mirrors yet. My understanding is the acrylic plates allow the person to access an aura at a much greater distance.
Those on the feet, yes.
Why is it octave, by the way? Because octave isn't, apart from, sorry.
The octave system is not what I did invent or something. I just asked, and then I get questions, the answers. Yeah. When I have a question, I can question it, and then most of the time comes answers. So I follow I follow the voice that comes. I follow the answer. Yeah. So one day I was treating with the mirrors, and I was in a smaller room. It wasn't so large, and so when I was on 2 meter distance of the patient, there comes a wall. And I could touch the wall with a mirror, and I say, I feel it did not finish the work because it was heavy. The mirrors are actually, it's for some people, you must feel them, but for some people it's unbelievable. When you are bringing the mirror to a certain place on a certain distance, and you find something where the mirror actually is working stronger, so the light that goes in comes out only if it is aligned, polarized, and ordered light. So it has more coherence. More coherence is more information without disturbance. So we bring it to a certain point, the information is working, and then the mirror can get heavy, it can get attracted, that you are trying to pull it, but it gets heavier and stronger to pull it away until the work is done. The mirrors have, the surface of the mirrors are not normal mirrors like you are having in the bathroom, or that you are having to take some makeup on. They are, you know, the carrier for a normal mirror is, or this mirrors, is glass, a high polished glass. Then they spray these materials on, like the different metals, and then they are highly polished. So this is front-plated mirrors, we can say. We're using the metal to reflect, not the metal like in the bathroom. You have glass and you have the metal behind it. So you must go first through that first medium, which is glass, and glass is inhibiting you around 300 nanometers. It's inhibiting you because it absorbs them. It's easy to understand if you want to reach UV to work it on your body. Because in UV the DNA is communicating, and these things. Professor Pop found it out a long time ago, that the DNA is communicating on levels even 120 nanometers inside of the body. So if you want to reach the UV and you are behind a glass in the living room and you hold your arm next to the glass, to the window, the sunshine warms you, but it will never make you brown. It will never give you a tan, because the chaotic of the glass is inhibiting and absorbing the UV.
Right.
So okay. when you're trying to go deeper, you need much more quality. So with a normal mirror, like you said, the 260 nanometers, which are normally absorbed by this material, let me tell you, this one here allows you to go much deeper than this 260. I will not say what it is actually, because imagine you bringing something which is nice, but it takes away a lot of money from others, from industry and others. So in that moment, it can happen that they are searching for a reason why we can take this off the market. Yeah. So I had to search that company. I had to ask them for 7 months to give me some samples, because actually what I wanted to do with that was not that work as we're doing. We found it out that it works. Actually, what I wanted to do is, this is a normal pole filter, a linear polarized pole filter. that you can use for the camera objectives and the things. So you're filtering out information. What I did is I wanted to have this, to have a new like the glass is inhibiting me to go deep enough. So what I was doing is I wanted to build a new pole filter, a new generation of pole filter. And so the foil that you put on this information carrier, we can say, will then change the ability of the pole filter, and we can go up to the point where the weakest part of whatever you build together is. And we have the foil, which is like 380 nanometers. We have the acrylic, which is much better. So we found a way to change the language, but not the information. And we can test deeper than we could test before in the other years that we're using. I'm using this kind of kinesiology now for circa 12 years.
Wow, you've been using that acrylic for 12 years? Is that what you're...
No, the acrylic that I searched was in 2014, because I thought we must go deeper in the research. Where if the lung is testing, and we use a normal polarization filter to find the stress, that is by our way how we are testing it, then you are coming to a point that you are treating it, and maybe it's gone. The stress is gone, the body doesn't show up with stress. But if you go with a new generation of pole filter, it can be that you are detecting the same spot again as a stress point, because before we couldn't reach it, we couldn't go deep enough in the information field. Now we can reach much deeper. By the way, we have one mirror, which is actually, I did not even know that this is existing in the world. We have a mirror, which is the roughness, we can say. The roughness of the surface is less by the industry, they tell us, is less than 0.1 nanometers, which is a tenth of a millionth of a millimeter. It's amazing that these things that they can build these things. Yeah. So this one allows us reflections to reflect that light up to 130 nanometers.
Right.
This is really deep.
But on the scientific side, another thing that attenuates VUV, which is the very short wavelengths, is air. And there's an air gap between the acrylic and the person that you're treating. And that intrigued me. So, I mean, within the acrylic, it's fantastic, but that information's got to reach the person.
Yes. When we are lying on one of the big plates, yes, like in some of the videos, you'll see that, then you're actually touching it.
Yes. Okay.
You're in body contact, even with clothes. Important is that you don't wear black clothes. Okay. You know, the black, but the original, really black, not the black jeans that you are washing 50 times and it becomes gray. This is a different thing. Okay. But if you have the black clothes, the old ones, yeah, you can wash them 150 years, and they still are black. This one is absorbing light. So this one is not good to wear when you're doing a treatment. But with the other one is, if I give an information like a UV, if I have a UV wavelength, that wavelength can change into blue and into red. Yeah, it must not stay and be in the body or for the body the same as it arrives. It can be changed. This is the Compton effect. Compton got the Nobel Prize for that in the early 20s, yeah, 1927, something, when he discovered that. So when I saw that Compton effect, I didn't even know what is Compton effect. But then I looked into it and I found that is the explanation of how is this information in the body happening, what is going through. If you have a UV wavelength, it will not penetrate you so deep. But if you have an infrared, it will go much deeper. So how actually are we reaching 1 or 2 centimeters in our body? Something to change it, to take the stress out of the system. Yeah, there is only over the different wavelengths.
Okay, so it changes wavelengths. That's interesting. So you're using information from someone when they're healthy and reflecting that back to the person. What sort of things, can you give us some stories of people that you've treated, what sort of conditions they had before and how they were after the treatment?
I give you 2 or 3 stories from other practitioners, what they have done. It's much easier than to talk about your own things.
Okay.
So there is Dr. Shabir Pandor. He's number 3. Yeah, Nicole, Shabir, and me. We formed the Light Kinesiology. So I'm a co-founder of it. And Dr. Shabir Pandor, he's got Balance and Beyond. Balance and Beyond is charity. That charity is being created from him 7-8 years ago to help children when they have a household which is not rich. Because in autism we have this problem that you are making this big protocols, you're making detoxing problems, you must go with 150 supplements, and so this can cost you a few thousand a month. And when we did play with this children on the plates, and we just put like we have this big full body plates, and we had 2, and we put them on the floor like this, just lying, and then we play on it with cars and things, and the children, they are getting attent. They are changing, you know, going from the attitude from before. Then we place in the corner of this, we just place some mirrors on the corner. So the light that the children are emitting into the plate will break somehow and will reach a mirror. And when one light particle, comes back into the system, like a re-information, it will order that system. It's to see like in a school. You have a classroom and all the children do what they ever want, and there is a lot of trouble, and then the teacher comes in and says good morning. He sits down and everybody orders, you know, everybody sits down and is quiet in the morning. This is happening when you have a lot of disturb, and there comes the right signal and it will calm down the system. These children, we had 10 children, and they all improved somehow. If it was a lot, if it was nothing, it was a little bit, yeah, but they all improved. That was the response of the parents. So this is just by mirrors and playing. The other one is if you have, we had Dr. Helmut Retzek in Austria. He did tests on a person that had a glioblastoma. You know glioblastomas, which is it's a brain tumor. It's a brain cancer. So half of the people which get brain tumors, they get today glioblastoma, which is the most aggressive one, and the time normally to survive is 12 to 18 months. If you do radiation, if you do operation, surgery or something, it is all times the same direction. But there were people, they had surgery and they were paralyzed because of the surgery. And Dr. Helmut Retzek, he did take a pole filter and he searched on the spot, yeah, with pulse diagnosis. Like this is another kind of diagnosis. So he found actually a problem. Then this one, this problem, he contacted it, yeah. So he found the problem and he took a mirror. He was searching which mirror is resolving that problem on that spot, and he held that right mirror on that spot. While he was mirroring, in the moment of the treatment, the lady could move the fingers, which were before paralyzed. So we had three patients in a short time that was reacting in the same way. When you have metastases or something in your hips, then you get pain and you can't walk really. When you do the mirror treatment, you see that the people are relieved from that much of pain. So they have less pain. It can change that the ability to move the legs, yeah, the angles and everything is improving. We had these things. We had Nicole had a case with a young boy. The young boy was brought by the mother because Nicole has helped her 2 years before, and the young boy got a rash all over the body, a big rash. And we have pictures of that before and after. It was amazing. The body of the boy was in pain, and he was not able, without having pain and crying, to lift up his shirt and to show her. Yeah, so much. It's like when you go with your fingernails and you would get the skin off. She did do a light kinesiology treatment, a mirror treatment, and the father, by the way, was a doctor as well, and he didn't know where to go. They were searching for 7 weeks something for help. After 1 week, we did try to get in contact with these people, and then these people said, wow, we forgot you. Sorry that we didn't give you the feedback, and because there was too many things. But actually, the boy is clean. Everything is gone. So he had a normal skin within 1 week, but actually it was even less time. Psychological problems, emotional problems. When we test the certain spots on the body, there is all times another spot which is correlating. Yeah, when if I have like an eye problem, it could be my tooth, because there is a meridian system which is going over. But do I have to treat the eye? Do I have to treat the tooth? Yeah. So what we're doing is in life kinesiology is like a big thumb. Yeah, big thumb. You are beginning on one layer, and you're coming all times more and more down to the problem. If the problem is in emotional direction, if it is in tooth, in scars, if it is in the liver is failing or because of something, it brings you directly to the biggest issue of the moment.
Okay.
We have so many. I forget all the cases, you know.
Right. So if it's a case like the brain cancer, you're talking about pain relief, but you're not talking about extending their lives. Did it have that effect?
You see, if you take ALS patients, you know, motor neuron disease, ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, there were people that you have a certain lifespan and you have a certain ongoing with that things. And there were people, they say, we did give more quality and quantity. Yeah, but there is not, you know, when you help someone and someone gets healed, we can say, from whatever, you will not hear from them anymore. Most of the people just disappear because they go back into their lives, and so you don't get the feedback of these people, but you get feedback of people who are slowly improving, or which not many things are happening. So you can't say the life extension, the time or something. You can only see it in certain people, in a handful of people. It's not so many that you can get the feedback from them.
Right, right. Now, why do you use different types of mirrors? You've stated you've got the three. You've got the gold, aluminium, and you've got the silver.
There is in different materials, there is different reflection. So if you take a gold mirror, and it's a high polished, high quality gold mirror, like you use in the Hubble telescope, yeah, Hubble 2 or something, then they are made exactly for frequency wavelengths of infrared. Gold is able to reflect by more than 96%. If they are polished highly enough, and if the quality is good enough, by more than 90–60%, it's able to reflect the information in certain angles. But the wavelengths are from 800 nanometers over to 20 micrometers. So you are going into the infrared, in the deep infrared. Like there is near infrared, there's middle infrared, and there's far. We can say you go into the near infrared, but in a deep point, you are reaching that one. If you, this is only by the information that you get from the people who are building these mirrors. But if you take silver, silver is able to transmit frequencies from 450 nanometers. Yeah, and it's they have a little, how do you call it, burglaries, I think in English. When you want to brush your hair and you have this the brush, the thing, and one or two of the needles are missing, yeah, then you have this is a silver mirror, yeah, and this silver mirror here can't reflect with a certain quality. So now we have the aluminum mirror, which actually does the same wavelengths as a silver mirror, but when you have this broken pieces here, then you can overlap them, and you see that they are filling up the gaps. Yeah, so you get more information. Silver is doing the whole light spectrum that you can see, but it does not go lower than 450 nanometers, so it doesn't reach the UV. The UV must be done by a special enhanced aluminum mirror, which is able to reflect from 250 to 450. And so you have the aluminum UV that does one part. Then you have the whole part to the infrared with the aluminum flat or with a silver flat, and get the highest quality and information. There is a gold one on the top, which is actually testing quite often, and it changes most of the frequencies in water, we found out.
Now, I'm pleased you brought up water, because I was just about to talk about it. Now, are you imprinting frequencies into the water? Is this what you use for?
We did tests that everybody is able to influence water, like Emoto showed, or other things are showing, like Köbler method under microscopy or something. So if I think, then the information is there. So my electrons, my biophotons are going into the water. Mm. But if you are doing a test, like you take a glass of water,
yes,
and you do a kinesiologically test. So this maybe is tap water. Mm. The tap water is being pushed through the tubes.
Yes.
Water doesn't like to get pushed. Water like to get sucked and flow alone. Yeah. So that water is squeezed and pushed and wrapped. So now we did do some tests, and we did take it's called loop antennas. Professor Medinger, he made a loop antenna testing with a bottle of tap water. That one, he detected some frequencies after Paul Schmidt. Paul Schmidt was a bio engineer for bioresonance things, and he was a great developer of new ways. So he found the body-depending frequencies which should be in the water. So if you take hypothalamus, it should be 7.5 hertz. Yeah. So then you have in the water information that can work directly with your hypothalamus. Yeah. Just to give you a direction. So we did test that normal water, and there was a few frequencies inside which did correspond. Then we mirrored the water with 6 mirrors without watching what we did, but we took the aluminum out, only silver and only gold mirrors. We mirrored the water, we went on 1 meter distance, and we went back, and we put it aside. The next one. So it was like 1.5 minutes. Then he did check again this bottle, the 0 bottle and the number 1 bottle. We had 2 different ones, and we had 99% of all steering frequencies for our body, needed for our body, in the water. So he called me, and he said thank you that he was doing that tests, and I had to thank him. But he was saying thank you because that was actually the most amazing water they have tested in 12 years in the water lab. Then what we wanted, we did check a different way. We wanted to check if there is one mirror for the people, that they can enrich the quality of the water that they're drinking, that they are having a bath with or shower or whatever. And so we went to him again, and we did 6 bottles. We checked again by kinesiology which one is blocking the regulation. Yeah, and we found that the water was blocking all 3 of us in the test. And so we found gold convex mirror. We found gold convex 1 mirror, yeah, which is different shape. We found a silver mirror. So when we then mirrored a single bottle with only 1 mirror, we wrapped it and we took it aside. So we did the same frequency tests, and it showed that every single mirror has his own broadband, yeah, the largeness of the frequencies. Like gold convex was over 30 hertz, going to maybe 59 or something. So then there was another one which was working from 17 to 23. So actually you can see that all the mirrors, when you put them together, they are filling up the gaps, and then you have an information, a good information in the water for your body. But there is no single mirror that does all of it. We did spend money, we did spend time to try it, but we didn't find that result.
Okay, now the mirrors, they're directly onto the gold surface, are they? Like the surface of the metal, the light strikes the metal and then gets reflected? Mm-hmm. Have a good understanding of how the mirrors are constructed?
Yeah, because the mirror must have the metal, must be the reflector, not the glass.
Understand.
Yeah. Otherwise you can't use that deep information.
Right. Well, gold is stable, but both aluminium and silver are quite reactive to moisture and oxidize readily. How do you overcome that if it's exposed to the elements? especially highly
We don't.
surface.
Yeah, we don't go into the bathtub with them. Yeah, we don't do that. So we don't expose them to water. That's right.
Yeah.
And we had that actually not with these mirrors. We didn't have that problem with the mirror because there is a built-in pole filter here in the front. This is glass. Then we have an O-ring. Yeah, so it's locking and everything. So it's not if I would take my coffee now and I would put it over. Yeah, I can clean it. So I don't have to demontage it, and so somehow it's locked. But it can happen when you have one of these mirrors. Yeah, this is a necklace, and you can see it's a both side mirror. One towards your body and one towards the field. So you are treating around you and you're treating yourself. If you are going for jogging or you do bodybuilding and you're sweating a lot and you wear it, it can be that the sweat goes inside, and then you find that what you have as a patina on the aluminum. Yeah, it could happen.
Yes. Okay. It's very interesting. I don't know you have these pendulums. Pendants, sorry. Pendulum.
Like
Looks nice. And so that's a healing pendant. You wear that for healing, self-healing and healing for those around you.
We had interesting things when there was some, like before we had all this full body plates and all this system built up. We had problems that there were some patients and the information in the field of the patient was not them. In the church they say like a possessed person. But we call it a foreign energy, a parasitic foreign energy. So if you have lost a twin, yeah, the twin can be all times in your field, and you have all times the feeling that you are not whole, yeah, that there is a missing part, or there is a grandfather that died, and all times on the 28th of April is the tinnitus is coming, the ear ringing or something. So these things we could detect and we could pick it up. And there were good ones, and there were those ones who were angry. So when the angry ones came out, then the person which is lying there actually as a patient or a test person could change totally, like getting angry, shouting and speaking even in different languages. Yeah, we had all these cases. And then what we did is we tested if the mirror is not to be held towards the person, yeah, but maybe away from the person, to mirror the field, to mirror outside. And it happened that the people changed. And so what we actually searched for a daily help, if we are attracted from all this energy coming from outside, like a bad thought is enough to influence some people. If the bad thought is strong and it's straight and the people are not doubting on it. So we just took two mirrors, yeah, and we just built them together in both directions, and we tested it with the people, and it worked. So then I ordered this kind of little mirrors, and in the same month when I ordered these pieces, they were building these little mirrors, because before they didn't do this 12mm mirrors before. And so what we did is we are putting this, it's like a pole filter, it's a mirror, another mirror, and another pole filter. So it's a double system, but it's not as the normal mirrors. It's a gold convex mirror in the front, built in. And in the back, it's a aluminium enhanced convex mirror. Yeah, so this one works on me, on DNA, on genetics. We can say it's changing. Yeah, you can see that's changing. And the other possibility is to build gold mirror and gold mirror, or you build an aluminum mirror. The difference in it is we had like Dr. Christopher Shade, and his son had diabetes 1. So the values were all times really high on 350 and this. And so after a treatment, it went down to 50, but it came back. Yeah, it was not stable, and he had this insulin pump and this. But by testing a mirror, which makes him strong, we found aluminum. Okay, this aluminum gives you information and reaches the frequencies in the area of DNA. We can say DNA communication. And after a short time, the values were going down. Then he didn't need the pump anymore, and he was nearly stable. Just little fluctuation, which is normal in you and me when we get tired. Yeah, we eat something or we drink a glass of wine, and then your blood sugar gets up or something. And this fluctuation we had, but it was so stable that actually there was nothing before that helped him better. I think he was 12 years old, and it was coming quite early when he was young. We had other people that you have a problem to stabilize them. You give them a good treatment, but then the toxins are there and everything is there, and there must be new connections, and there is still, after taking down the wall, you must take away the bricks, then you take the brush and you begin to clean the system. So the bulldozer is one thing. The bulldozer is still light kinesiology. But sometimes to stabilize, we need a gold mirror or a gold aluminum mirror when the people are during the day, every 2 hours, they must rest for 15 minutes. Yeah, they get tired and then they come up. They get tired and then they come up. So sometimes it works with a gold aluminum mirror, like I do. This is why I do it. It was for myself, yeah, to stabilize my energy for the day.
Interesting. From what you've described, that type of treatment, not the pendants, but your other equipment, it'll be hard for someone to treat themselves, wouldn't it? Because they've got to put the mirror far away and they've got to sense where the position is for the mirror. So is this a clinic-only style treatment that you're describing for the light? Gosh, I'm tired. Kinesiology. Is it that a clinic-only type treatment?
You mean if someone can treat himself?
Yes. You
mean that?
Yes.
Of course, this is what we actually made in a short video for some English speaking, because when they came to a seminar, when they come from America, they can't come for a praxis weekend like suddenly or something. So it costs them money on this. So we made to remind them. We made a little video. Yeah, how we build up the things and why the things are standing there, so they can remember, and they say like, oh yeah, I forgot this one, I forgot that one. But it's a thing. You just lie down. You have a certain pile on the feet, a certain pile on the head. You put all the mirrors together. Yeah, you can screw these mirrors together, okay, one behind the other one. And people thinking, how does the light go in the second mirror? Yeah, the light goes in the first one and gets reflected. How does the second mirror work? This is by photo effect. This is by Compton effects, when the charge is changed in electricity, in the tension field of electricity. Yeah, it's behind it is it's a system. The influence, what we actually do, what we found out is we are influencing water. What is our body? When we do a self-treatment, all the problems which are showing up, the highest one will get picked out first, yeah, and then it goes down. But if we treat someone, we are doing the same thing, but on a single spot. So we are more concentrated on that spot. And what we are influencing is the water, because our body, normal people like you and me, we have around 70% water in our whole system. But actually, it's changed. When you look in the age, getting older, you're getting drier. Younger, the newborn babies maybe have 90% water. But what we are in water molecules is more than 99% of our molecules are water molecules. So if we try to help someone, we must get the largest surface actually where we can reach with information, and that is actually water molecules. Yeah, this is even with information, like we said before, after Paul Schmidt, the Hertz frequencies, or if it is accelerating of the bloodstream. You can make your blood quicker if you give infrared to your blood, so the blood will run quicker. But what happens as well is all the dirt from the membranes, all the dirt will get pushed into that stream, into the narrow inside, and the cell membranes are cleaner. Yeah, you are detoxing a lot of your body parts, and you must fish it up, because otherwise it will come back into the bloodstream when this zone what we are creating. You can say it's like Jared Pollard said, the EC zone. We are influencing it directly to the mirrors. So the dirt comes away, the zone is there, the body is functioning much better, the head is gone, you are lighter, your shoulders are better. Then comes a problem. When you go out of the praxis, when you go back on the road and there is a shopping mall and you have Wi-Fi, you have mobile phones, all these frequencies are interacting with that zone. Yeah, This is why we try to wear sometimes a necklace when you're doing certain things, because you are stabilizing. It works in light velocity, but the body is a little bit slower with the cells.
Okay. Now, getting close to the end of the summer, is there any place that our viewers, the people watching this video, can get more information on the system and can possibly ask their own questions?
Where they find it, you say. So what we have is we have lightkinesiology.com is one website. Then we have Biophoton Realignment mirrors. It's a website. So there is a contact button if some people want, and it's info@biophotonrealignmentmirrors.com. Or there is email addresses. There is telephone numbers. Yeah, we are still responding the telephone. We are not pushing people far away. We write people emails back. Yeah, we give them answers, but not big letters, because if you're beginning when you are down on the bottom, and so you give not the answers anymore. So what we're asking is, if there is questions, please make short questions, yeah, or short sentences, and then they get answers back. There is a YouTube channel that Nicole made with my son, and it's in German. You must put in Lichtkinesiologie, yeah. Then you find that YouTube channel, and there is now around 20 little videos and statements from doctors and this that we are trying to give for the people, like information, like little trailers, you know.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds very interesting, Renzo, and I'd like to thank you very much for coming onto our program and teaching us all about light kinesiology. It just gets worse. Kinesiology, it's an easy word. It's hard when you're so tired. But I thank you so much for coming on and teaching us about that. So that's the end of the Sabbath. Thank you so much, and good luck for the future.
Well, thank you for inviting me here, that I could share some of the information, and we'll see what comes out.
Actually,
thank you.
There's a quick note. There's a note that's come through from Carmela. She says, I'll read it to you. If you hit on the chat button on the bottom of the screen, you can see the chats that come up. But she says, she thought you may want to know that the Australian Aboriginals, there was one elder who taught light play to the children, and they called that elder a coloured man. But colour meant all colours, not black. And his task was to teach healing. And she has seen this in person, and very few people actually know about it these days. It's one of these things which are lost through the advance of technology, the skills of the ancients are being slowly lost. And what you're doing now may well be something which was known thousands of years ago, or parts of it, snippets, and now it's being relearned and reapplied. So what you're doing is very commendable. Okay, well, thanks again. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Well, I'm going to finish off this apple. It's been watching me all through the summer. Sending. Yeah, teasing me. Okay. Well,
that was interesting, because she says, like, the Aborigines and this. You know, when people touch, when you have hurt here, yeah, what do? You touch.
Yes.
Because your light, your infrared, is emitted to that spot, and so you are absorbing it. The blood is running quicker. You're giving it different information, and you're getting rid of most of that pain in the same moment as you're doing that. What we did is, this system is actually a rebuild of my healing hands that we have tested by Pops Institute. Yeah. So all of this comes together, and the best thing is, when we did something and we tried to, can we see something if it happens? Or so we did some tests. It was all times the best tests there have been in that things, because we don't even know how deep it is really going. We only see the moment, and we see, wow, this is crazy, this is fantastic. But now we're still going deeper to find out more, yeah, to measure and to do these things. But actually, these mirrors are like healing hands. When people touch by Reiki, or they do other things, or you go to a healer that touches you here and touches you there, yeah, the energy flowing and this. Actually, this is happening, huh?
They've done scientific tests, and they've found studies, and they found that effect sometimes happens before the cause. And so when it's aligned with that same line of thought. It's amazing.
Yeah, and before a big earthquake comes, yeah, you can detect it days before in people. Some people get it, yeah, like the animals and this. And it's interesting how. But that one was when you said so everybody is connected, yeah. Like I'm you, you're me with the information field. Then we must only see, okay, this is my place and this is your place. Yeah? So we must come together and we must get out. Otherwise, you're not alone. No? And then we can test that one as well with the mirrors.
Right.
When someone is sticking too close, it's not okay for the health of the people because you are sucking energy of them.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I know people that are energy vampires actually. And emotional vampires, and yeah.
Where can we find this? What we have done now? Where can we find it? Is there a link or something that you can send us?
This is for your website, which.
Yeah, we could put it in livekinesiology.com, or we could put it somewhere in the things.
Like, you mean this video? Well,
yeah.
Because the internet was behaving itself, we'll probably more than likely just use the video that I've recorded on my side. Nick will contact you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and he can send you a copy, and we also publish it on YouTube, which is available to everybody, and so you can probably even download. We'll sort something out. We can send, yeah.
If you put it on YouTube, then we can connect that one. Then it's okay.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah, so we can give some information forward to the other guys or something. But actually, the big research is done from the people who are using it daily. Yeah, this is the big research done by the practitioners, which actually find, treat, and is gone. And sometimes it's you can't. You have 5 people coming with the same symptoms. 2 of them they are fine after 1.5 hours, and 3 you must help continuously for something else. But this 2, they give you the possibility to focus on where do we have to focus more. What didn't we do with the other 3? Yeah. So this is why we are still searching for the new things. Yeah. Like when there is something that works better, then we must put it in. So it's a system which is not locked. Yeah, you get larger with the new things. You know.
Okay. Where can people buy mirrors from you? Can people buy direct from you, or is it from?
I'm the only one to build them. I do them all by myself.
Okay.
Yeah, and the necklaces and the things. But when you want mirrors, then you must actually attend a basic seminar. Or you must go with a introduction day and a light kinesiology seminar, because, like we said, we had these big problems. In 2015, a friend went and he put a nice-looking lady, doctor, and a nice doctor on the bench. He tests. Oh, there is an ear problem. Then he tests a mirror, and he put that mirror on, and the problem was not showing up anymore. So he used that mirror on the ear. In the same moment, no joke, in the same moment, that doctor, she was lying there smiling. She goes like, nah, I kill you all. She was screaming in the room, and she was like something that was not normal anymore. She was like a demon in that moment. And this stuff happened. Now it doesn't happen anymore with us, but it happened in 2015, 2016, and in 2017 it stopped. We didn't have these cases anymore. After we used the full body plate, because our field is not stable enough. People are running around with all these electrosmog devices. Yeah, the whole air is already full. And wait, if 5G is coming, if they're gonna bring it out. Yeah, there is already some places, but here in Germany we're still stuck with it. You know, we are against it by politics and this. If that one comes out, it will penetrate you in a different way. It will not be the same as the 70s when we had a car telephone, you know, in the car. That is not the same life. We had analog systems. Now we have digital systems, that will change a lot. That will change a lot.
How can someone go to one of these conferences if they live in a different country? Do you still overseas? Do you do video conferencing for these conferences?
No, normally, when we have something, then we get invited to come somewhere, or when we are doing like Shabir made the biological dentistry in London, you know. So Americans are coming, they come from Poland, they come from everywhere. So that one there. But we are not able anymore to travel so much, because when we went to Vienna, we get so tired and so sick with fever inside. You are ice cold, but you're having the fever sensation. That this is a smart meter system. So all this radiation kills us at the moment. Nicole and me were quite sensitive to it now because we don't live with it at home. We have no Wi-Fi. We have no cell phone. Okay, we have a telephone with a cable. And that one was less stress, because you find the cable, you follow, you find the telephone, then you can talk. And when we went to London, it was killing us. In America, I was not allowed to go in because there was some problems with my documents, they say, and whatever. So they put me for one night in jail, so I can't travel. When we do something, then we invite the people here, but over the internet, an explanation for these things, or to give a webinar on this is not possible. Feel that. If you hold the mirror on a person's spot where we detected a problem, you can feel how the energy is going. It's like a streaming. It's like you're going like yawn, like but this is the healing of the patient, because you are in that system, in the cable, you know. We can't do that actually by online things. You can speak about a story about water, you can speak about this, but you cannot give the feeling. This is impossible.
So how can people in different countries like Australia buy the products? There's a bit of a dilemma there.
They should come to Europe once, because in the introduction day, Nicole and Lena, or Nicole and me, we're explaining what are the mirrors, why is a pole filter, what is that, how are we using the pole filter by testing and this thing. So that is the first day. So you get explained, mirrors are like this and this and this. This is happening. This is why we test. This is our muscle test that we are using. And in the courses, we try that the people are using our muscle test, because from the muscle groups, there are different muscle groups. If I hold my arm straight, I have a different muscle group than if I go a little bit in the front. So the finest signal comes in a certain position. Yeah. And then in the second day and the third day, there is Light Kinesiology 1, which explains you the sequence. First, we look on the legs. If two legs have a little difference from 1 centimeter, yeah, one leg is longer, one is shorter, automatically your body is shifted and your liver gets squeezed, but your spleen gets pulled. So if you test the organ, it will show up with stress, because you're squeezing something, and then you test here, and then it will show up. We don't do that. We search for the leg lengths, what is de-stressing the body, and then the legs become straight. One little girl, like beginning of 20s, she had 4 centimeter difference. Left earring we took out, and the legs were straight. 4 centimeters, that's 3 fingers. And it was straight in the same moment. So all these things we prepare in the beginning, and when we come to the normal kinesiologists, like they do the touching and the searching for the organs, this is in our light kinesiology step 14. So we do 13 other steps before to de-stress sabotage problems. We search for teeth, spine, and a lot of other things where information can be stored, you know, like a trauma. You can have on one tooth, you can have 20 different traumas. It can jump from one to the other one, to back to the other one, back to the other one. But when you have done that one, you have results. You know, people go to the dentist. You go, he pulls out, and then he puts an implant in. But if the emotion is not gone, this implant will fall out, or it will make an infection, or it will make something. It will make trouble. Yeah. But if you take the emotion out, if you take the meridian and you give it the right flowing in the meridian, you don't have to have 100%. With 60, 70%, it's enough maybe, but you have to wait a little bit longer, you know. But if it's streaming, then you can put that implant in, you can test, does it make stress? You de-stress that system, and then it can maybe stay and hold and heal out. Yeah? So that is what we found out for years.
Okay.
But they can come to Germany in 5 days. They get Light Kinesiology 1, Light Kinesiology 2, and the other package, and then it's only practicing. Actually, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
You're invited to come if you want that.
I've done Germany on stopover, but I've never. I'd like to one day. Okay, well, thank you for your time. Thank you for your time once again, Renzo, and thank you everyone for watching. I'll catch you all next week on the summer, and it's a weekly show, Renzo. So yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you, and good luck. Give a hello to Nick as well. Bye.
Bye.